Whether it's starting a lemonade stand or launching your own product to pitch on Shark Tank, there are a million different ways to earn some pretty decent income as a teenager. So today let's go through my 5 favorite strategies, including one that I used to turn $500 into over $500,000. What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So as someone who was an ambitious teenager not that long ago, I understand that it can be a little bit overwhelming with all of the many options that you have in terms of making money. We'll start with the more basic strategies and work our way up to the more insane money-making methods, but the first money-making method that I used as a teenager was, brace yourself, getting a job. I'm not here to sound like your parents, and I totally understand that flipping burgers at McDonald's, or in my case, making Italian ice at Rita's, is not the most glamorous thing in the world. But beyond the financial compensation that you can earn from a teenage job, more importantly, it's going to teach you the value of money. And again, I know that I sound like a total parent, but trust me, that will serve you very well going forward, and later in life when you're earning a lot more money, you'll really appreciate it because you'll look back on the days when you made just a few dollars per hour. Plus, when I had a part-time job in high school, I earned just $7.25 per hour, which I realize is still minimum wage in most parts of the US. However, there are so many jobs nowadays that start at $15 per hour or more, so even if you're only working 15 hours per week, which is very doable, even after Uncle Sam takes his cut, you're still looking at $1,000 per month, which for a teenager is all the money in the world. At least it was to me. But moving on from there, the second option is where we're going to lump all of the token money-making strategies for teenagers, and that would be starting some kind of side hustle. There are a million different options here, but you could start walking dogs in your neighborhood, babysitting, washing cars, cleaning houses, delivering groceries or DoorDash, depending on how old you are, teaching music lessons or tutoring, some kind of online freelancing, and of course the most cliche money-making method for teenagers, mowing lawns. The sky is the limit here, and this doesn't have to be some confusing, overly ambitious, formal company. You can just go knock on your neighbor's doors and ask if you can wash their car or mow their lawn. It really is that simple, and if you compare the hourly rate that you can earn from something like this compared to the $15 per hour that you could earn from a regular job, you'll almost always come out ahead from one of these side hustles. Plus, if you do have more time on your hands and you're more entrepreneurial, then you absolutely could turn walking a few of the neighborhood dogs into a full-blown business, or mowing a few lawns into a full lawn care service. Again, the sky is really the limit here, and the lessons that you will learn will once again serve you really well in the future. Now, those first two are great, tried and true money-making options for teens, but they both involve trading your time for money, and if you really want to maximize your income, you ultimately want to get away from that. So let's move into the higher income options and work our way up to the strategy that I used to earn $500,000. The third strategy sounds really fancy at first, but I promise it is not that complicated, and that would be social media marketing. Again, I know this sounds really fancy, like some proper adult business, but the fact is, a lot of businesses in your area are likely owned by older individuals who may not be as social media savvy as a younger generation like you. That's not always the case, but if you are familiar with how social media algorithms work and you understand how to create content or navigate social media platforms, then you can reach out to a local business and offer this social media knowledge as a service. This could include starting or running Instagram pages, Facebook pages, LinkedIn profiles, and even starting an email marketing campaign on behalf of a local business. Again, this one is going to depend on where you live and what businesses are local in your area, but this is another one of those things that could be offered as a remote service to businesses by just emailing them with a short elevator pitch explaining how you can add value to their business. Because when you can add value to someone's life, then they thank you by giving you green pieces of paper with presidents' faces on them. Income with this sort of thing can range drastically, but even if you provide the service to just 5 businesses businesses in your area, and each of them pays you, say, $500 per month to make 5 postings each, then that's a total of $2,500 per month, or $100 per post. And at that pace, you would only have to post 1 time per day, which shouldn't take that much time. Plus, as you learn this space and you're able to produce better results for your clients, not only will you continue to receive recurring revenue from your existing clientele, but you'll likely be able to charge more in the future since you have that proven track record of positive results. And if you're saying to yourself right now that you have no idea how to start an Instagram page or optimize SEO on LinkedIn, let me remind you that YouTube is a thing and you can literally learn anything by doing a quick video search online. All right, this next strategy is by far the most simple and will provide you the highest return easily, despite the fact that it sounds kind of boring, but that would be saving and investing in you. If you're a teenager watching this video, then chances are you've at some point asked yourself, should I go to college? And that question has become increasingly more difficult to answer, especially within the past few years. And while I am a firm believer that you can make a wonderful living without a college degree, and clearly there are some incredibly successful people who are kind of anti-college, for your average individual, it is still a proven fact that college graduates usually earn significantly more over the course of their career when compared to a high school graduate. Now again, we are looking at averages here, and obviously that is not always the case. Plus, this is assuming that you are smart about where you go to college, how much that costs, and of course, what you decide to study. But using myself as an example, I went to an in-state university, took summer and overload credits in order to graduate early, and was able to earn 2 bachelor's degrees in 3 years for a total of $48,221.66. So if we view that roughly $50,000 as an investment, that will yield a return of over $1.5 million in additional income throughout my career. That means that investing in myself is going to yield a better return than had I just even put that money in the stock market at a 7% return for 45 years. Long story short, investing in yourself and your own education will almost always yield a higher return than any money-making strategy or investment that you could possibly make. Again, assuming that you get an affordable degree in a good field of study. However, I totally get that that is not the most exciting thing in the world, so getting back to those of us with that entrepreneurial mindset, it's time to talk about the money-making method that I used to turn $500 into $500,000. And a lot of you probably already figured this one out, but that would be YouTube. Now, let's preface this with a few things. Number one, yes, I legitimately spent a few $100s on a YouTube course, a tripod for my iPhone, and a ring light from Amazon, all for under $500. And after years and years of work on this channel, it has surpassed $500,000 in top-line revenue. However, taxes are a thing, so Uncle Sam gets about half of that, and the cameras that I now record with cost more than my first car. So while running a YouTube channel can absolutely be a very low cost and lucrative business model, it can also be a lot more complex and expensive than the average viewer probably thinks. But even if you're saying to yourself that you have nothing to talk about, or you think you'd be shy on camera, or you don't know where to get started, I want to encourage and remind you that number one, I'm an introvert. Number two, I knew nothing about video editing or cameras or YouTube in general when I started. And number three, my first video is literally me in my college dorm room with my iPhone and a ring light I bought on Amazon. My first video absolutely sucks, and it's still on my channel, so you're welcome to go back after this video if you want a good laugh, but you'll learn and you'll grow and you'll have fun through that process. And despite the fact that I still have a really small YouTube channel in the grand scheme of things, it does produce a really great income and provides me with a flexible schedule that allows me to do what I want when I want. It's not going to be a quick cash grab like getting a regular job, and it's going to take a lot of hard work and time, but it can be incredibly fulfilling and rewarding, and I can say firsthand that it truly has changed my life, as cliche as that sounds. So there you have it. Those are my 5 favorite money-making strategies for teenagers, all of which I have used myself previously, but I'd love to know what you think of these strategies down in the comment section and what money-making methods you feel I left off of this list. Be sure to check out some of my favorite financial tools using those links down below the like button, many of which will give you some free cash when you sign up, which we always love. Of course, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.